and welcome to Finextra TV. I'm Hannah Wallace and we're here at Money 2020 in Las Vegas. Kindly joining me now is Tony McLaughlin from Citi. Hello Tony, it's lovely to see you again.
Hi Hannah, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is there's been a lot of talk about crypto and Bitcoin at the event. People are saying it's the future, but I think we've heard this before. So what's been the progress here?
Sure, I mean again, it's this kind of competition between different views on the future of money and whether it's based upon tokenization like cryptocurrencies, whether they come from big tech companies like the Libra proposal or central banks, or indeed the original like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that's like one way forward, and the other way forward is the hard work and the slightly more prosaic task of fixing the different layers of the Fiat Currency system, the RTGS systems, the ACH systems, and the real-time payment systems. So, that's the debate, and I guess time will tell. But the thing that I'm focused on is the more practical steps of how can we fix the payment systems to address the problems that are rightfully addressed by the cryptocurrency community.
All right, and we'll talk a bit more about some of the concerns around tokenization and coins, but there's also been a lot of talk around Fiat Currency 2.0, so Could you tell me a bit more about that?
Fiat Currency 2.0 is a name we gave to a narrative to, I feel like, counterbalance the crypto narrative, because of course there are lots of pain points and problems in the payment system, domestic payment systems and also international payment systems, and we have to fix them. And the people who have been calling most for these things to be fixed, again, it's the crypto community, and they have a particular way of fixing it through crypto assets. And the other side of the story hasn't been told. So we think if we're going to have a good debate, there has to be two sides of the debate. And the other side of the debate that we're trying to bring into prominence is this idea that we can fix payments domestically and internationally by upgrading the payment systems, and that's what we call Fiat Currency 2.0. It's fixed payments, but not necessarily through crypto assets.
Sure, certainly one to look out for then. All right, and coming back to tokenization and coins then, could you highlight for us again some of the challenges and concerns that still surround those areas?
Yeah, sure. So again, the thesis behind cryptocurrency hasn't really kind of crossed the Rubicon and become money. And so the current idea, and this is why stable coins are all the rage at the moment, is because if you remove the volatility from crypto assets, then suddenly they will perform the functions of money. And we would just ask people to pause and think about the implications of moving to a fully tokenized financial system. Because really these tokens are bearer instruments. Possession of them is ownership, and I can transfer these bearer instruments to you, and then if I give you the private key, you own that crypto asset. And there's two big problems with bearer instruments and digital bearer instruments. Problem one is that bearer instruments are more dangerous from a financial crime perspective. And problem two is key management in a world of crypto assets. So again, in digital crypto assets, if you have the key, you have the asset. And so if these keys are stored on what they call hot wallets, which is connected devices, they're vulnerable to cyber attack. And so in many of the exchanges, for example, or in crypto custody, you keep the keys in cold storage. And cold crypto custody basically means downloading the keys, printing them out on paper, and then storing the paper in bank vaults. Right. So before we move the whole financial system to those types of processes, we have to ask ourselves whether we really want a financial system based upon bearer instruments and this kind of key management practice where we're essentially storing pieces of paper in bank vaults. That doesn't seem like a step forward.
Sure, and rather than going blindly into it. But what does this mean for the big techs? How do you feel about them having their own currencies?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's another societal question, really. Lots of the debate are about whether these big tech currencies will meet X or Y regulation. But I think before you talk about whether they meet the regulation, there's a prior question, which is really one about the social contract. And, citizens give certain monopolies to governments. We give monopoly to governments over force in terms of like police and military, and effectively we give a monopoly over deciding what currency is. So I think before we answer this question about the regulations and whether the big tech proposals meet X and Y regulation, there's really a kind of political question first, which is, do we want private currencies, and do they have any democratic legitimacy? So again, it's about questioning the underlying assumption rather than taking these things at face value.
Yeah, certainly some things to consider there. And Tony, I'm sure we'll be sat here same time, same place next year, if not sooner. What do you think is going to be the big changes and developments next year?
Well, look, payments is, for most of my 27 years in payments, it hasn't been a cool subject. It's only been cool in the past couple of years, and I think there's a little bit of excitement left in the topic, and this conference is an illustration of that. 10,000 people talking about payments and talking about financial services. So I think what we'll really be talking about next year, hopefully, is about how to build financial services into digital platforms. And this is one of my real areas of interest. Is the world is rapidly digitizing, platforms are spanning the globe, and financial services will be embedded into those platforms. And really we want to embed financial services into those platforms in a safe way. Personally, I think we can have a thriving ecosystem of fintechs, big techs, and banks, each playing their own role and helping to empower the digital economy by putting finance into digital platforms.
Well, I think it's safe to say payments is getting a lot more interesting.
It is getting very interesting, and it's great to talk to you about it.
Tony, I'll let you get back to the event. Thank you very much. As always, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.